My name is James Reich and I'm reading for The Big Other. My novel SKINSHIP is nominated for 2 awards this year, 2024, one for Best Fiction and again for a Reader's Choice Award, for which I'm very grateful. This is from the first chapter of the book and the chapter is entitled Applewhite. He felt nothing, watching through the pink film of his own blood the curious men with machetes encircling him. No, not men, but beings formed from contortions of an unknown substance, something like white plastic set at grotesque angles. From the emerald teardrops of tropical foliage, through the pale violet of the hanging moss, these awful spectres had emerged, stalking and strutting. He had known that they, with their slipping faces and vicious bones, would come. They always did, sensing weakness. A diseased tree had fallen in the grove. He lay against it, crucified on its hollows. Another paralyzed moment, and they would finish him off, a wild flaying and plunging of skinny, misshapen limbs and bright metal. Abandoning his corpse, they would make their slow retreat and disappear, and the next would take his place. The Tommy was awake, prematurely conscious. It stood 6 feet tall, yet it was not finished, a blank figure dripping white fluids along the silent gantry. Hesitating beneath the glass canopy with newborn eyes like pale bulbs of wax, it scanned the dockland, watching vast girders and gangways, the arms and assemblages of metallic bone, reaching out toward the stars with neon sinews. Even with its body and its features naked and incomplete, the Tommy felt itself summoned, compelled, drawn on some umbilicus of longing toward the SKINSHIP. Alone, as it approached the fuselage, it saw 1,000 chrome spines in collision, cranes and rigging far above Earth's surface. And so, ill-formed, it witnessed a few minutes of the construction of the future. Now the Tommy studied the SKINSHIP hanging above it. This was the last vessel that would leave the hyperstation that cast its shadow on the dead planet. Entangled in the conspiracy of machinery that attended it, an aurora of blue light shifted along the SKINSHIP's massive tubular hull, suffusing the dermis with a strange energy. Calmly, the Tommy observed the swarms of robots with their welders and sealants. The vessel was already miles long, a leviathan suspended in space. Whether the SKINSHIP's dominant form was organic or mechanical, the Tommy could not have said. Something informed it that this moment of solitude was a transgression and quite dangerous. Under the shimmering, mysterious hull, the moment was beautiful also. On Earth, great dunes of ash shrugged towards stiff oceans, glaciers of acid foregathered, glittering as they wiped the cities from the surface of the world. London dissolved, Berlin perished, Sydney burned, Abuja drowned. Poison washed over the tundra. It wove through red forests, sinister and final. The oceans were possessed by slicks of noxious algae clinging to gyres of plastic, forming artificial islands of trash. Staring down through the mesh of the gantry between its feet, the Tommy watched this sublime and relentless white curve of accretion and erosion, a deathly brine overcoming the final thin green tint of the land. Some of the dying must have been watching the sky and the hulk of the dockland black against the sun or illuminated in the night. The Tommy heard cautious footfalls on the metal. Something slow was reflected in the glass. It was no longer alone. Lifting its hands and regarding their elegant fingers with curiosity, the hands that would control the SKINSHIP, the Tommy was dimly aware of the archivist who stood beside it on the gantry, eyeing the tiny, almost transparent grey ribbon protruding from its scalp. To the archivist it seemed unnecessary and cruel, this barely visible tag of the Tommy's being and its nature. Its condition was delicate, vulnerable. In time, its hair would grow over it, and without this tether to the artificial, the Tommy would soon be indistinguishable from the human inhabitants of the vessel. Latent within the mem card was all that it would require to pilot the SKINSHIP as first navigator. But for the present, were he to snatch the mem card out by its ribbon, the Tommy would, in its uncertain way, die. The archivist watched the green and vermilion lights of the dockland shifting over the Tommy's glossy neck and naked body, the emulsified residue of placental milk that seemed to melt away from its uncanny physique. The automaton was designed to last approximately 100 to 150 years. It was remarkable to see it standing there, as though under hypnosis.